Okay, right, so now we're live. Yeah, so welcome friends and family. Yeah, I was just saying to people that this is a warm up, really, like a just rehearsal, because I'm still trying to finish off some last minute bits, and today's just going to be like a sort of overview introduction to the API, and then over the coming weeks we'll have more features I can show, because we're just finishing off the last parts, because so we really want some open source developers to jump in and help, especially with the providers, because to really show off the power of OASIS, you need more providers plugged into it. And it's just been me and Farha, my tech lead, and he's kind of part-time working on this, and it needs yeah, a lot more people to help, because this is such a big, massive project, and it's had the least amount of resources that most blockchain projects get. And but at least hope from this we can start applying for grants and things. That's the plan, to all the different things we're integrating. So we've got Ethereum, EOS, Solana, Holochain, Threefold, MongoDB, Neo4j, SQLite. That's what's all integrated so far. Oh, IPFS as well. But these providers need configuring. So in the demo today, I'm just going to show it on Mongo, just so you can see the Avatar API. But I'm going to show you the engine, so you can see how it works, how the auto-replication, auto-failover, and auto-load balancing works. But we're actually going to dive into that in the next weeks, like to show you how it actually works, because it's too much to show you all. It'll take me hours and hours and hours and hours, and then you'll probably fall asleep, and I'll be asleep as well by then. So today is just an overview. And just showing the basic avatar, the top level of the avatar. And then we go deeper on the avatar next week, because that's when we go more into the engine and how it auto-replicates your avatar across the providers and auto-failover. So just a quick overview of what that is, basically. So if any, OASIS is like a network of networks. It's like an abstraction layer over everything. So basically, if one node goes down in your area, so on Ethereum, it'll jump to another node in your area. So on EOS or something, or Solana. So it always find the fastest nodes. It's not dependent on the one network. So if a whole network gets taken out for some reason, the OASIS will never have any downtime. It will automatically switch to the next one, because the auto replication as well. It's a bit like a gossip protocol, similar to Holochain. And it is similar to like Holochain and blockchain in a way. I didn't design it, I didn't copy that, it's just what I was channeling. I kind of downloaded this, but how it auto-replicates, like cells in your body, how they auto-replicate, like the DNA, it reproduces itself. It does that in the back end. So where any changes you make, like on your avatar or a data object, which you call a holon, will get auto-replicated in the back end. And that's how the auto failover and load balance works. So if one node goes down, or it finds the fastest one in the area, so it's always the fastest it possibly can be, because it's not dependent on the speed of one network. So if one network's got less traffic in your area that day, it will use that network, and then another day it might be another network, or it'll use a mixture. So it doesn't see like all the nodes. It's like a node of every single network combined in like a big web, if you can imagine that. So it's not just fixed to one thing. So it's like a higher layer. That's why it's called Web 4, because it's a layer above Web 3 and integrates Web 2 and 3 together. It's a true Web 4, and Web 5 is what comes after that. And that's the what we'll do demo later on. That's the Star Omniverse, which is what thing that integrates all the metaverses together. So have you seen a diagram of the torus? It's like a torus basically. So the Web 4 kind of integrates all the data, aggregates all the world's data through one central API, the OASIS API, and then it funnels that into Web 5, which is the Star Omniverse, and represents that data in like a cyberspace ontology, like planets, stars, moons, galaxies, universes, multiverses, superverses. I channeled all this, so it's way more what NASA led you to believe. It's way beyond multiverse and metaverse. It's way beyond that. It's like it's galactic information I channeled for that. And basically, it's the Earth node of the galactic network. So basically, OASIS API job is to bring all the world's data together, so we can sense make it, aggregate it, and make sense of it, moving all the silos. And then we connect that That's Web 4, and then we connect that through Web 5 into the rest of the cosmos, into the rest of the galactic networks. And then we connect to other systems out there. And I'm sorry if you think we're alone, then you've really got to catch up, because we're not alone in the universe, and there's many races who want to talk to us. So I'm just coming out and saying it. I'm not hiding anymore. It's time the world knows the truth. So this is the mission: is to prepare the Earth for contact, and this is to bring all the data together to make a better world. And then we're going to connect that data interface with other races and galaxies. So that's the big whole mission. That's what Web 5 is. What comes after. So I guess I'll jump in then and start showing it. Hope that makes sense, and more people joining. And bear in mind, I'm kind of a bit autistic, and I haven't done any talking, and I haven't had any sleep. So I was up to 1 in the morning with a power cut last night, just trying to get ready for this demo. So I guess I'll share my screen. Share screen. I think it's okay. Can you see that? Can you see my screen? I hope.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah, so basically the first thing I'll just show quickly is let's see. Yeah, so can you see that web page? So Swagger basically at the top there. So basically I just released this morning version 2.2.2. So it kind of seems quite a good omen. I didn't plan it to be like this, but it just happened to be the version I got to, and it's a master builder year 2.2.2, and I'm demoing 2.2.2 on Solstice. So that's quite a good sign. I think I'm on the right track. Sometimes I always feel I'm late and behind schedule, but people say I'm actually ahead of schedule. But this still gets taken so long. But I guess this is a big project, so it's going to take a while. So like I said, this is the providers it already implements. So you got, these examples, just what I've done is like, if you're in IT, you'll know there's 3 main types of databases, like a relational database. There's an example of a relational database, SQLite, and there's a document object NoSQL database, and one of the most popular ones, very fast database, storing data. And then you've got a graph database example, and Neo4j is one of the top graph databases. So that's why I have them there. Holochain, we have support for that, but that's been an ongoing challenge for me, because that was supported 2 years ago, and then they changed, I think, with a new version called RSM. If you're into Holochain, you know about that. And then they broke it because they changed the way it uses WebSockets to communicate, and they changed it to use this message pack like encoding, encryption, and that kind of broke my my provider. And they've been trying to help me troubleshoot that for the last 1.5 years. And we're nearly there, but it's just like one thing off another. So hopefully that will be working very soon too. That's another thing I wanted it working before today. But I think it's better just to show something today rather than just waiting forever. Solana, you probably know, everyone knows Solana, Ethereum, EOS, the three top popular blockchains. There's Telos, which is built on top of EOS, and then Seeds is built on top of Telos. So these 3 are kind of together. But if you heard of Seeds, basically it's like a new kind of currency, regeneration currency that was added like 1.5 years ago. And Seeds, I think Mohan or no, he just joined. They don't even have a REST API yet. Their integrations are limited just to smart contracts for EOS and for WordPress. And I kept trying to tell to them, like, you need a REST API. What this is a REST API, if you IT, you know, is the most compatible thing out there, because it can be plugged into everything: games, apps, websites, services. It's just anything with an internet connection. It's a HTTP connection. Can use a REST service, and that's what this OASIS API is. The first version is. Then we're going to have a GraphQL and open gRPC version as well coming up next few months, hopefully. So this really gives them that integration, and then IPFS as well. So yeah, so these are all built and just the configuring. So I'm going to be demoing how the auto failover and auto load balance and auto replication works with these in the next coming weeks. I think one of the sessions on the schedule I had was the provider API. That's when I'm going to be talking more about this. So just giving a quick overview today because it will take hours and hours to go through it all. And we're going to build up from there. And basically, the demo we use a thing called Postman, and that's a way of like making calls to the API, which I'll show you in a minute. And we've got like a dev staging and live environment. Making download this JSON file, which is then give you the API, which is this. It'll give you this. So you have avatar, and we're going to demo this soon. This is a new thing, keys, which is part of the new wallet API, key API. Another thing that my team been waiting for months. So here it is. First time I showed it to anyone. We're going for this in more detail later on, but it's where you can basically link any wallet on any blockchain to your avatar. So you single sign on the avatar. Instead of having all these logins and wallets, you have one OASIS wallet that aggregates all your wallets together. And then this is how you link your wallets to it. So, and you can also generate new wallets for it as well, for any provider. So you can link an existing wallet, or you can create a new wallet. And you have multiple wallets per provider, per avatar. That's basically how it works. And it can also replicates your private keys, local storage providers. You have multiple local storage providers and multiple devices, so you never lose your keys again. So like it auto backs up, a bit like a cloud, but like an offline cloud. So you can use like Bluetooth or LAN or wireless, and it will just auto replicate your keys, private keys, only your private keys on your local storage devices on your phone, laptop, whatever, PC. People keep losing their keys, so this is a way it kind of solves that problem. But and then the rest of the wallets is obviously backed up on the public providers, like you just saw the list. So that's just, we're going more detail on this later on, but that's just an overview of, there's so many, like, I think world first. I think I've been doing this for years. I kind of had all this channel so long ago, but it's taken a long time to build it. But I keep thinking I'm running behind schedule and people catching up, but I think I'm still kind of pretty ahead. But, and then the Karma is the Karma API plugs in, is part of the avatar. So you get Karma for good deeds, like picking up litter in nature or anywhere in the world, cleaning up beaches, planting trees in rainforests, volunteering for charity, donating money to a good cause or charity, helping people, helping people on social media, maybe eating healthy, like going to a meditation yoga class, anything that's doing good for you or the world. You earn karma, and then your avatar levels up. That's like your XP in the game, because our world and the Oasis is the game of life. It's a simulation of all it is, and our world is the first planet, basically, of the Oasis or Omniverse. And that's how the avatar thing. The avatar is a key part. The avatar is your currency, and avatar can, and the karma can be redeemed for like real world goods and services, like a free smoothie or a yoga class or even a yoga retreat, say, just an example. And that's why we're partnering with Tulum Coin and people in Tulum here who are like helping to ground it. They're doing similar things. It's about, we need to do an example somewhere. So we're kind of starting in Mexico, and then that's how you can redeem the karma. You can earn karma for doing real things in where we are, and then we redeem it. So basically I built an engine. It's an engine in the game, and what it needs is people to build like use cases and build on it, build UIs, build the toolkits, and then partner and integrate bits. And now we're ready for that. That's why I'm doing this demo, I think, to really start to get more partners and people out there using it and integrating. And the data is just basically holons. Holons is like a data object. It's basically something that can be part of a whole and part on its own as well. Basically your cells and your body is like organs, and cells make up organs, and organs make up your body. They're like examples of holons. Everything's fractal, the holons inside holons. I think Brett's on this call here, know what holons are, and Chris and other people who I work with like use holons. And holons is like the universal data packet. This is how we talk to the galactics, by the way, the fractal holonic technology. That's kind of the base kind of data model that all galactics use. And then providers, I've just been talking about the providers. This is just an API to do register providers and you can get hold of what storage, network, or renderer providers. This is what comes later on. Mostly, I built all the back end to the Omniverse. You've seen Ready Player One. This is the OASIS back end, basically, to that. And most of it is built now, which is why I'm doing a demo. But we need to build a UI. That's why we're doing this demo, because we need funding, because to build a UI is massive amounts of funding. And we're building the IRL geolocation AR game for a few years, but we had very, very little funding. So that's about halfway complete. And then we need the One World MMO RPG game, and that's going to be an Unreal 5 engine. And that's the real deal. That's the thing you see in the OASIS. That's the first UI of the real OASIS. And that's the first part of the OASIS Omniverse. And you have build other planets and things. But first of all, we've got to sort out our own planet. We can't go to other planets until we've worked out our own challenges here, and we get along with ourselves before we try and get along with other races. And then you can get hold of the providers that are auto-replicating, and which ones have auto-failover, etc., etc. I'm going to go into more details. I'm just glossing over this, but you can get an idea, and you can look at this offline, or online, you know, on after the call, and then you can activate different providers and basically do anything. This is what I built at OASIS. It's very generic, and it's very powerful, and it can basically, you can make it do anything you want to. It's a generic engine that you can do anything you want with it. That's what the design of it was, and this is why it's taken so long to build, because it's not one simple little segment or use case people have, or target audience. Its scope is so massive, it's like infinite. It's basically to do everything and anything, and connect everything to everything, and be used to do anything. So you can imagine trying to build that. It's like, how do you build something like that? Well, this is why people keep saying what I'm building is that most people don't even bother trying to do, because it's so ridiculous. And I kind of understand now why they don't take it on, because it's been quite a journey to get this far. But it's what I came here to do. So here's the engine, and it can do anything. And I'll show you more of that later. And then you can search, you can search the races, maps, it's part of the geolocation stuff, the seeds APIs. So you pay with seeds and rewarded with seeds, donate with seeds, and it's linked to your avatar. So the seeds and the avatar and karma are all linked together. So when you use seeds, you get karma as well. So if people are into seeds, you understand more about that. This needs updating, because this is to the old seeds, but I know they changed it. They kind of, as like holochain, everything's moving the goalposts. I integrate stuff, get it working, and then they all change and upgrade, and I have to break my stuff and I have to fix it all. But this is why I need more resources, because it's as you see, there's a lot to do. A lot's been done, but there's still so much more to do. And these are just some examples of some of the different providers. And if we go on here, this is Swagger as well. This is auto-generated from the documentation. So I'm going to start going through this now. This is the avatar API I want to show you today. Just how you create an avatar, how you log in and authenticate. And here you can see examples like every single thing you can do to update an avatar detail. Basically, you have an avatar, and you have avatar detail, and the avatar detail holds more details. The avatar is just a basic lightweight authentication object. You know, just your username, password, your login token. This thing called JWT token if you're into techie. And when you log in, you get your JWT token, which is a JSON web token. And then you pass that token around in the header of future API calls, and that's how you get authenticated. That's just a standard security thing, like a Web 2 kind of thing. Yeah, so basically I'll show you how that works in a second. But every call, you can optionally tag on provider type, because by default the OASIS handles the providers for you, and it automatically will load balance across the providers, like I said earlier on. But if you want to manually just talk to one provider for that call, you can pass in the provider type there, and that'll be one of these you pass in, and there'll be future ones as well. And then set globally is basically, do you want to just do this, override it just for this one call, or do you want to do it for all future calls? Every future API call you make will then use that provider only. So it's just like a way of overriding that. And the stuff I've been working on the last few days makes it even more advanced. So that's what I'm going to talk about probably next week, because it's a lot to take in one go. Right, so more people still joining. It's good. I'm always late for everything too, but it's recorded so people can catch up. Yeah, so just talk through this. Basically, yeah, and the avatar detail has more details in the avatar, and that's like the gamified part. You know, your karma, your human design, your gene keys, your chakra, your auras, your mana, your health, your stamina. You know, standard RPG stuff. Your strength, dexterity. I'll show you what that looks like later on. The avatar detail, but there's loads in there. I think I list it somewhere. I'll just check in a minute. And then you got standard stuff like delete. And every single call you can do by username, email, or your ID, just so you know. So you have your username, which is defaults to your email address, but you can change it later on to anything you want. And get UMA JSON. That's just like getting the 3D object, your 3D avatar. We're using a thing called UMA avatar in Unity. People in Unity will know what that is. And you logged in avatar. Register, verify email. It's when you sign up, you register your email address. Oh yeah, this is a preview of this is what I can talk about later on. So basically, I've implemented a preview just on authenticate. So originally you can override a provider, and I said set globally, but now the new enhancements I'm making in the last few days, you can override whether it auto-replicates or has auto-failover and auto-load balance enabled, and you can pass in your own custom list of providers to do it over. So that's really powerful, because then you can like customize like per avatar, per API call. You can customize exactly how the OASIS will work. So that engine, that powerful engine, you can completely fine tune it and tweak it to each use case. So then you can say like, oh wait, maybe for authenticate, I want to just only do it over like Holochain and Mongo. But when I update my avatar detail, I want that to do that over Ethereum, EOS, Solana. You know, that's the kind of example kind of thing. You can choose what providers you want per action you're taking, per API call. Because at the minute it's a global thing per O node, OASIS node, and this is the first O node.
The screen's not changing for us. It's we're still on EOSIO.
Oh, is it not scrolling? Is it on Swagger? Like it should be API avatar authenticate. It's probably
we have
probably really slow connection here. Wouldn't surprise me. So are you what can you see on your screen? Is it like avatar authenticate?
I see Solana, EOS.
Postman, we see Postman running.
Oh, Postman.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Oh, sorry. So yeah. So it's looking at the wrong screen. I thought it's showing my whole screen. Hang on a second. So, oops. Yeah, let's change this. So you can see that now. Oops. Thought you can see what I see. So now you can see this screen, the web page, hopefully.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So that's annoying. I was talking through this way, but basically this is what I was talking about. But you can go on to API OASISplatform.world and it automatically go to this page. And yeah, this is what I was just talking through the different providers. And oh yeah, I won't go through it all again, but hopefully you can work out what I was saying from the audio. The 3 different databases, relational graph, document, Holochain, Solana, Ethereum, EOS, Telos, Seeds, IPFS. That's annoying. And then the JWT token, this is what I was highlighting when I was talking earlier on. And then I was scrolling down, showing you the avatar API. Okay, and then I was saying like per API call, you can then override the provider type. So here you just like update the avatar detail, per username. But here you're saying I want to override that with this provider type, and you pass in that provider type, one of these types. So Holo OS, say, and then you say, is that set globally? Is it, you say false if it's just for this one call, or true for all future calls? Or now we'll now be using the provider you passed in here. That's what I was just saying. And then, yeah, I was explaining about the UMA, the 3D model, logged in avatar, register, authenticate your email, you know, when you standard kind of thing, when you sign up for something. And this is what I was just saying, the advanced ones, what I was just trying to crowbar in the last few days, but I haven't quite finished yet. So I've got kind of half working, so I'm going to demo this next time. And this is where you can say, is it going to auto-replicate? Is it going to auto-failover? Is it going to load balance? And what providers do you want me to use? And you can pass in this default, and then a word default, like a string, and it will just use the defaults. Or you can say what you want to, you know, you can basically, so you can see how powerful the engine is. You can customize it. This is one of my gifts that I like giving people, make things very generic and adaptable and able to plug anything in. And for developers, though, I appreciate this because it's basically mostly, I hate when you kind of get tools and they're very closed box, a black box, and you can't really tweak or customize it. And you kind of have to do it my way or the highway, and you're forced to use a rigid API that doesn't really let you have any flexibility or power behind it. But I've tried to design the OASIS so you can do anything you can imagine, and it's up to developers and people to use imagination. It's a bit like Holochain in a way. It's similar to Holochain ethos, that you can build whatever you want on top of it, and you can bend the engine to do anything you want. Especially with this upgrade, you can now do it per call, per avatar, and this is saved to your avatar as well. So every avatar, so basically every account can tweak their own settings. So you're basically having full control of the data, on exactly what actions does it get replicated, and where, and what behavior do you want it to work on, how do you want the load balancing to work, how do you want auto failover to work. So I hope you can get an idea of how powerful this can be. But to really see it, you need people to start building the apps on top of it. That's why I'm doing this demo, so get developers to start jumping on, and then they can start to use this. People still joining.
So it's functional, David? Can we create an avatar and an account, or not yet?
Yeah, you can do it for the API. This is thing, and you can. We have got a web UI as well. They're just finishing because of the resources. It's I hadn't better hire very experienced developers, so it's been very painful.
Because I tried like 2 days ago, and I understand. I tried like 2 days ago, and it wasn't working. So I wonder if something changed within the 2 days. Now it's functional, right? We can go and create accounts, avatar, and
on the web UI. Soon. That's why I said I wasn't ready to demo today, really, but I kind of forcing myself to showing something, because the web UI they told me they fixed it, but I have to verify whether they fixed it. So basically that's what I'm showing later on. The web UI, that's not part of today. Today is just the back end, just showing the back end, and the web UI is going to be in a few weeks' time. It'll be ready by then. But it'll probably be ready before then. It'll probably be ready in a few days, but I'm going to demo it. And if it's ready in a few days, I'll send the link around. People can start doing that, and then I'll demo it in a few months, and in a few weeks. But for now, you can use, if you have Postman, you can create avatars for this. Oh wait, I'll go back to that in a second. I'll show you that bit in a second.
David, quick question: can I add a developer to the group or not?
To this group?
Yeah. Am I allowed to?
Yeah, but now?
Yeah.
Oh, to this thing. Yeah.
Cool. Because I want to win on the next meeting, because he's kind of up to speed on my project, and this would be really useful for him.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I guess you're also going to do questions. Again, I can take a few questions down, and then I'll do a bit more, because I want to, So
it's a good idea that people start to join, David, if you want people to plug in, because the more traction you've got. So anyway, I'll leave you without questions. Sorry, mate.
I'll sit on mute. So how do you pronounce it? Abada? Do you want to say something? Her question?
Yes, David. Firstly, great work to the team for bringing all this together. And what I would like to understand, just looking at the backend and one of the specific modules that you had shared about seeds, had really, really like inspired me to an extent, seeing possible connections with projects that are already in flight, creating NFTs and other things. So what I was trying to wonder, what I'm trying to arrive to at, how can someone like there in that world, Seeds NFT world, use Avatar and the current Seeds module that you have? How do they plug and play? If you can just explain to me in layman terms, that would be helpful.
Yeah, I said like that. This is what I'm going to show you. One of the modules I'm going to show you actually seeds, because on the schedule I didn't add seeds to it. I'm going to add seeds at the end. So then I'll go through. But basically, that Postman I was showing earlier on, and this API, they can just plug into this API, and then at the end you have /seeds, and then seeds is yeah, down here somewhere. So basically you can log in with your seeds, your avatar, you can link your seeds account to your avatar, and then when you pay for seeds and you reward the seeds, you can use either your Telos account, which is your seeds account, or you can use your avatar. So they're interchangeable. Because your Telos account is linked to your avatar, you can use either. So it looks it up, it converts between them, and then you get Karma and seeds. And then I've linked Karma and seeds, and I've linked seeds account and avatar account together. So that's kind of an example of where we're going with OASIS. It's all about integration and merging everything together. And then this is then how seeds can talk to Holochain, for example. It can talk to Solana, it can talk to anything. It's just been such a crazy amount of work to get this far, and there's still loads of crazy amount of work to do, because this is just the beginning. This is what I call the storage network layer. This is the engine, and now we start building what I call the magic layer, and that's the use case engine. So that's the keys and wallets is the first, and seeds are the first example of things built on top of it. And then there's going to be lots more, and then Star Omniverse is another layer. That's like Magic Plus layer. And
Right.
but these other ones, they can start doing things. This is why I need developers to come and help, because there's a lot, you can do a lot already, but I haven't got the time to build all this stuff. I'm going back to Star Web 5 very soon. The angels keep telling me to get on with that, because the Omniverse is needed now. I need to take it down on Facebook before they go create a broad timeline. So it's quite important that I start coding the Omniverse like now. And that's why I'm handing this over to Farha and other developers who want to jump in, and Mike, and anyone wants to help, because I'm now stopping development of Web 4 because I've done my bit on it. This is as far as I'm going with it, and now I've got to go on to Web 5 because that needs to be done. So this is why I've done all this, and the code is very high quality now as well. It's evolved over the years, because you remember I demoed this 2 years ago. The first alpha, this is all here 2 years ago. Seeds was done as well a year and a half ago, but unfortunately people didn't really understand what I was talking about. But maybe now it's time, and then I can. But this code is in a very good state, so I made it so it's open source and other developers can jump in now. So now I think about it, a year and a half ago, people could help, but it wasn't as mature. Now the code's much more stable and mature, so it's easy to like the standard speller basically, so people can look at what I've done and they can duplicate it. So I think it's time for other developers to jump in now, because I think like a year and a half ago it wasn't quite ready, but now it is. So that's what I'm going to do, the tech deep dive, in a few weeks. So I'll start going through the code, and you see what I mean. There's a lot of code. There's about 200,000 lines of code behind all this. It's a lot, and going through this Swagger doesn't really do it justice. But I'm trying to share what I can now to start getting people interested.
Just a quick follow-up. This is definitely very interesting, and I don't want to step in your demo because you want to go through all the details that are there. Just a follow-up question I want to quickly ask is that when we speak of avatar, and for an end user, real world end user to interact with them, they would have to start thinking of some kind of a UI also, right? They would have to start thinking of the UI, though they can use the OSS engine to connect the endpoints with seeds and other things that they're doing, but they'll have to start thinking and envisioning their UI that they wish to create to start really giving them the experience of interacting with this engine and whatever that is.
Yeah, basically, because that's what we're building. Like we've got a React developer team that are building generic like Web UI components as examples. but they're an example, so people can build whatever they want. It's just like HoloChain, you know, it's like an engine, but you can even build your own providers in different languages, different stacks. You can plug in Java or Python or Go or React, Angular, Vue, because it's a very generic, flexible engine, so it can work with anything. And it can even extend it as well. This is why I'm going to go for the tech deep dive. This is I want the open source developer community to really get on board with this, because it's about time it starts getting attention and love it needs. Because I need to step away and build Web 5 now. So it's like I've done my bit. This is the handover. I'm handing over Web 4 to the community now. This is what I'm doing. This is like my handover. I'm handing it to Farha, my tech lead, but he can't do it on his own. We need people to come and build this. And then I can go and get Web 5 ready for people to come on board, but Web 5 isn't ready yet. I need to get that to prototype level, and this is way beyond prototype level. This was an alpha 2 years ago, and now this is the production version, and it's now pretty mature, and that's why now this is kind of like a handover. And as you can see, I'm scrolling up here, these are different types in the system, and you can see how extensive it is. It's like a spiritual RPG. Blockchain, holochain, seeds, like mesh of everything, because it's everything integrated. You can see there's examples of things you saw at multiverses and omniverses, stars, moons, planets, wallets, karma, standard kind of like normal Web 2, Web 3 kind of things you recognize, and then there's OLANs, NFTs. But there's a lot of stuff in here. Like I haven't actually scrolled down this list for a long time, but this is just giving the preview. These are basically the interfaces inside the OASIS. So like a lot of this stuff doesn't do justice, but when you start to look for this, you start to get an idea of what's under the hood. And there's a lot of stuff underneath. Oh God, it's a long list. I won't go through all this now. But I wanted to just do a quick demo of the actual avatar. So I actually show it working. That might be good because I've talked quite a bit now. But yeah, that's this. People can have a look later on at this stuff. But this is like the NFT wallet stuff we're working on now. And what I was going to show was on the avatar detail. You can get an idea of the kind of things that's in the actual avatar as well. Yeah, here I kind of list them all, so you can see standard kind of database karma and XP level, and it said you've got a 2D portrait of that's for websites. So on the website, your 2D portrait will appear, but on the game, your 3D model will appear. That's kind of like how I'm saying your avatar can be on anything. So it's like a 2D and 3D representation of your avatar. This is for like Mohan, like heart rate data. It's building biofeedback hardware. So we've got like the heart rate data, and it'll probably be a lot more we're going to add. Chakras, aura, and then gifts, stats. There's tons of stuff inside these things, by the way.
David, which page are you showing again?
Oh,
we're looking at the avatar detail. Is that where we are?
Yeah. Can you see that? Yeah, the
small writing. Oh, that's so cool.
I can see this bit here. It's highlighted. Hopefully, still HP, mana, energy, and stamina should be in the stats, and then that gene keys, human design, skills, attributes. Standard like RPG stuff you get in games, but it's like a spiritual RPG in a way. That's what it is. And then you level up your superpowers and spells, achievements. You unlock different achievements. You have your inventory, and then you get access to Omniverse from inside your avatar, just like real life gets disclosure. So the Omniverse Web 5 is actually an object inside the avatar object. So when you get the avatar detail, you can then go not only for all this stuff, you can go into the Omniverse through your avatar because it's inside you, because the universe is inside you. You can access everything from within yourself. This is why I say it's like disclosure as well. There's so many levels to this. It'll take me a long time to go through every bit. I'm just trying to give you a little taste of kind of what I've been working on the last few years. It's been quite intense, but this is all ready. So the back end's ready for the game. Like all the back end of the game is built. The avatar stuff. There's so much stuff that's invisible that people don't see yet. But when people start building on it, you'll start to see